have Dave Kelly from Vannin Reptilia and Manx Animal Rescue with us, and he has brought some guests. Just remind us again who we've got with us today. What have we got?
We've got two lovely white hooded female longtails.
And I have to say, they are gorgeous, aren't they?
Even you like them, don't you?
Yeah, I was a little bit apprehensive when you said you're bringing them in, but they are genuinely adorable, and they are so friendly. I'm quite surprised about that.
Yep, they've been well looked after. It, like with all animals, it comes down to the handling. They're used to being handled. We've had them for about 2 months now.
Where did they come from?
They came from a house. They were moving into a smaller property, and they just didn't have the space with the move. So we got these guys, and my daughter absolutely adores them. It's the first thing she does in the morning. She goes and checks on them, and then she's straight down the garden in the afternoon when she gets back from school.
Oh,
So do they make good pets? Are they easy to keep, or do you need some specialist knowledge to make sure that they're getting what they need?
You don't so much need specialist knowledge. There's a very simple diet that they can be kept on that you can buy from most pet shops. And then they do like their treats. The one I've got at the moment absolutely loves toast crust.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because obviously they like things that they can gnaw on. They also both really like apple core.
and they're also super intelligent, aren't they?
They are very intelligent. The cage we've actually got them in at the moment, they sussed out how to get the door open in about 3 days. So we've actually had to get a wire tie to tie the cage shut, because they realised that if they pushed the latch, it popped it off and they could open the door. So we had to find one of them the second time they did it, because the first time the cage was wide open. We went into them, and they're all sat in the cage as though they'd opened the door and kind of gone, oh, I'm not going anywhere. So they were all curled up fast asleep in bed, and it's like, well, which one of you did it? And they all look at you totally innocent as if say, did what?
So do they need a lot of space then? You mentioned that they're these ones you got because someone was moving and they didn't have enough space.
They don't need massive space. They need the interaction more than anything. They're a very social animal. So in the wild, longtails stay in a communal group. So usually when you've seen a longtail in your garden, there's a lot more than just the one. But obviously with wild ones, they're all the same colour, so it's very difficult to distinguish between.
And do they, because again, people thinking of longtails in the wild, maybe, unfortunately they do, because they live so close to man and whatever, we have that sort of feeling of them, oh, they spread disease and they're dirty and whatever. Do they keep themselves nice and clean?
They are very good at keeping themselves clean. As you can see now, she's decided to pose for us, and she's actually having a bit of a clean with her snout. Well done, good girl.
And then sort of going to do they sort of need litter trays, or from the point of view of keeping them clean?
These guys are actually litter trained. So in their cage, they've got a little litter tray, and they actually use the litter tray, which makes cleaning them out so much easier.
That's amazing. So they're intelligent, they're relatively easy to keep. Do they make good pets for kids? You mentioned that your daughter likes them.
I think if the kids are like animals, they are a fantastic animal. You haven't got to worry about, like with the usual pets that we bring in, like the snakes and that, they have quite a long life period. With the long tails, 5 years top sort of thing. So there's not as much of an investment time-wise. But you can become very attached to them.
So what then would be some of the do's and don'ts if you are thinking of getting yourself longtails as pets?
Don't get them from the wild, obviously, because you don't know what infections they may have, and they've never been handled before. It's not a wise recommendation. Do your research. Some rats can grow. Longtails, my bad. Slap on the knuckles there.
Nearly
I did
got
so
away with
well.
it.
Okay. There's a longtail called a Sumatran bamboo rat, and it can actually weigh up to 8.8 pounds. I called it a rat because it's actually off the Isle of Man.
Oh, I see.
So
Sumatran.
it's a foreigner.
Yeah.
You wouldn't call a Canadian something different,
Yeah,
would you?
well said.
Recovery.
That was good. Top work there.
So it grows to what size?
8.8 pounds.
Oof.
Oh, that's quite hefty.
That is big.
Like big.
Yeah.
Much bigger than these girls.
Yeah. So, the sort of longtails you're going to get over here, what sort of size would they get to?
About a foot in length from snout to tip of tail. I don't know how much they weigh actually. Not a lot.
Not a great deal, I don't think, do they? No. And you were saying, so you can get sort of proprietary food, can you, and give them snacks as well?
That's right.
Healthy
Yeah.
snacks, like you say, breadcrumbs and
A
bits of
lot.
fruit.
A lot of pet shops sell a complete food. They do, don't they? You like
Yes,
it? Yeah.
chatting away there again.
You can get an assortment of foods as well. Sometimes they come in like a kibble biscuit, and it's a mix. Yeah, you like those more than the others, don't you?
Definitely.
Sometimes you can get them in like it's almost like muesli, and they pick and choose what they want from there, whereas the other type, they just eat what's there.
And presumably, what, just drink water?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fresh water.
They're very chatty.
I have to say, it is very chatty. I'm kind of converted to this. I think this is a lovely idea. What I can't get over is how happy they are to be handled. That really surprises me.
Well, like I say, she's actually sat on my shoulder at the moment. For anyone that can't see, just sat quite happily chattering down my ear.
Yes, I think I can see you're a convert already, aren't you?
Oh, they're
I can
lovely.
see this moving into.
More so than the 8-legged variety that I brought in last time.
Oh yes, we had baby scorpions last time.
They were fascinating to see. Now I don't know whether I'd keep one, but
No.
yeah, very interesting. And I'm always interested in those sort of animals. And ditto the snakes, but as you say, I think the snakes are much longer lived, so it's much more of a commitment,
Yeah.
isn't it? As you say with a snake, you've got to have the knowledge, you've got to make sure you've got the right equipment to keep them safe and warm, and you could be committing for years and years and years. Whereas, as you say, with the longtails, I'm sure the trouble is you'd fall in love with them, and then they might not be. Hello, you come in my way. Yes, paddling over.
She wants to say hello to you, H.
Hello.
So
Oh,
they're
there we go.
sociable, so they like to be with another, at least one more sort of longtail. So
usually keep them in a couple to 3.
yeah,
Make sure they're all of the same sex because they
Yes.
do breed very prolifically, and they do like human interaction as well. They're very much, they'll hear you come into the room, and they want the attention.
and as long as they've got another sort of pal with them, are they okay being left for chunks of time?
Yeah, like I say, these guys are left while my daughter's at school. Not a problem at all.
Well, we've had a suggestion. This is lovely. We've had a few
Name.
suggestions in for names. I really like this. So this is coming. Frankie and Sammy, a.k.a. from the original Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr., but as a female version. So Frankie and Sammy still
You can do that.
works.
They work. That
Yeah.
works. as
Yeah,
good.
from the
Frankie and
original
Sammy's
Rat
quite
Pack.
good. I
And I'm
like
allowed
that.
to say that because it's the music group.
Yep, that's a nice one.
You
that.
wouldn't say the original Longtail Pack. Exactly.
No, that wouldn't
People would wonder what you're on about.
I think they would. I mean, they wonder what I'm on about most of the time anyway, Dave. Dave Kelly, it's always fascinating to have you with us and lovely to meet these lovely longtails, which we are provisionally calling Frankie and Sammy.
Frankie and
for now.
Sammy's a nice start. I'm liking that.
Thanks to texter 6238 for letting us know that one, for suggesting that one. Do let us know your name so we can give you a shout out as well on that one. What might we expect from you next time?
I don't know. We'll look forward to surprising you yet again.
The world's our oyster. And if anyone wants to get in contact with Vannin, Reptilia, whatever, best way?
Facebook's really active. There's a couple of us that monitor that regularly, or drop us an email.